Hello. This is Luna. Say hello. She's Alex's mum and dad's dog and we are dog sitting. So this video is a long time coming. I have tried many times to be consistent with YouTube, but I always just ended up committing to too much. YouTube always took a back seat because my primary focus has always been on my business and my Instagram. But I feel in a good place of both of those now, and I definitely can dedicate a little bit of time to filming more videos. I'm not going to commit to a set schedule for YouTube because I think I'll get overwhelmed. But I'm just going to upload what I want to across the next few weeks. I'm definitely going to do some spend the days with me in prep and a little bit more about like my day-to-day routine, including my morning routine with cardio and meals, more about my training, sharing more high days, low days, refeed days, and also documenting both of my show days and also just how like I'm living my life as well. Like me and Alex are going to James Blunt tomorrow. I definitely want to vlog some of that. We're going away to Cambridge next weekend, but obviously it's all on prep. I've got a client photo shoot and I just want to show how I navigate these things while still staying on track with my goals and just bring you along more on this journey with me. So this is my current physique 6 weeks out, which I honestly am really happy with. I would be lying if I said I don't have thoughts about worrying that I'm not going to be lean enough for stage condition, especially where I hold a lot of my body fat in my lower body. I'm not concerned about my upper body or even my core area. Is literally just my legs, but I just have trust in the process. And I've got just under 6 weeks until show 1 and just under 8 weeks until show 2. I am only doing 2 shows. My boyfriend is doing 3. We're doing the first 2 together, but he's doing a third. I just didn't want to do a third. Personally, I was happy with 2. This was my starting point as well for my prep. So since then I have dropped over 9 kg, so I'm the lowest weight that I've been in such a long time. I'm definitely starting to feel it now and the hunger's kicking in, the low energy is starting to kick in, but that is prep. And I've had loads of questions on my Instagram because I am documenting my journey to stage. On my Instagram I have been documenting the entire journey. I documented my entire bulk, but I wanted to bring you along in a more personal way. So I popped a Q&A box on my Instagram just asking for questions from people about my prep journey so far that I'm going to answer. I'm going to go through all the questions I'd asked. I did consolidate quite a lot of them because a lot of them were similar, so I'll just answer a few different questions in one. A lot of the questions asked to do with my calories, so I just wanted to start off just by saying I will not be disclosing my calories. I know everyone is different on prep, some people do. However, I know when I was younger, if there was someone that I looked up to or a physique that I admired, I would have been tempted to follow their calories and their full days of food because I didn't have much knowledge around how it really does differ for each individual. And also I'm prepping for a competition. This is the most extreme form of a prep you can do in terms of like a cut, for example, and it's not something I promote or want anyone to copy. I knew all of this before I signed up to doing this prep. So calories I'm not disclosing. I will share a full day of food in this video. I'll maybe do a separate video just sharing a little bit more about that. Now, food is very low at the moment. Carbs are low, lean protein sources are high, but it's just because some high days are going to be implemented across the next few weeks. So we really want to get to kind of peak condition early. I still have a while to go, so I can have those high days, I can have those refeed days. So yes, it's difficult at the moment, but hopefully it will be worth it if I get those refeed days implemented across the next few weeks. So, question 1, would I compete again? 99.9% no. And I already knew this before I went into the prep. So I didn't go into this prep wanting to become a professional bodybuilder. I went into this prep because I have always been someone, my entire life, well, since I can remember, who has committed to things but never really followed through with them. As soon as things would start getting hard, I would give up. But I wouldn't just give up. I would come up with 101 excuses as to why what I'm doing isn't going to work, why it's not right for me, why I should be doing something different. But it was always after the initial excitement of starting something new had worn off. So I was constantly committing to things, never really following through with them. And I was just frustrated with myself, to be honest, because I really wanted to be that person that could actually just stick to something and have the discipline to do what they'd set out to do. So in 2022, summer 2022, I remember that was like the turning point for me. I was just so fed up of feeling rubbish in myself, not fueling my body correctly, not caring about my health at all. And I decided to commit to a photo shoot prep. Now, a photo shoot prep isn't as extreme as a bodybuilding prep, but it gave me a good insight into the discipline that was required. I absolutely loved it. I did that photo shoot end of 2022, best thing I ever done. It taught me so much discipline. And then in 2023, around March, April time, after having a good few months at maintenance, after the photo shoot prep, I did just a lifestyle cut with Alex leading up to our holidays, and we booked a photo shoot together, so it was just something to work towards. And then I spent 6 months in a bulk, nearly 6 months, and my food went up to 3,500 calories, and I've spoken about this a lot on my Instagram. Commit to the bulk. Do not rush into a prep. If you're considering doing a bodybuilding prep, commit to a building phase first. I know it feels like it's pushing your goals further away. My coach said to me when I signed up with him in the summer, do you want to compete in November? We can start prep now. I was like, no, I want to get my maintenance calories higher. I want to have plenty of time with lots of yummy food. I want to do everything that I want to do in this time so I don't feel restricted in prep. And I want to be 110%. So I committed to bulk. I really focused on bringing my lower body through. Food went from like 2,300 to 3,500. I gained nearly 8 kg. Best thing I ever done. As I was saying, I thought I'm going on a really good tangent right now, but I wanted to compete again because I wanted to do this for the mental challenge. I wanted to do this for the discipline it was going to teach me, and the things I've learned in prep so far are honestly going to be carried throughout life with me. The discipline, the sacrifices, and also the mental strength that I have proven to myself that I actually have, and I'm just so happy that I've done it. However, and I have spoken about this before as well, I personally would not want to go enhanced. I would not want to be using steroids, and I really do think to do well in this sort of sport, you do need to be enhanced. Everyone at the Olympia is. That is one reason. And second reason, I love white wine too much. I love meals out. I love holidays and having cocktails in the sun. Prep is 5 to 6 months of pure selfishness and commitment. I'm very lucky that my boyfriend Alex, here, is also prepping with me. We're doing the same shows, so it's been incredible having him on this journey with me. However, I think I would have really struggled if he wasn't doing it, and there's just so much I want to do, and there's so much fun I want to have, and even though there has been many enjoyable parts of prep, I do not want to sacrifice 5 to 6 months every single year to this level of commitment. I will still do photo shoot preps, I'll still do challenges, just not to this extremity. Is the Stairmaster my only form of cardio? Yes, it is. So I do the Stairmaster for 50 minutes every morning fasted on training days and 60 minutes on non-training days. And I need to keep my heart rate around like 150 beats per minute. And I just find the Stairmaster the easiest way to do that. I also enjoy it so much more than cross trainer and incline walking. Now, it is not a better form of cardio. Like, all cardio machines are going to be working your cardiovascular system, so there is not one in my opinion that is superior to others, as long as you're in the right heart rate zone for what you're working towards. Doesn't matter what form of cardio you do, if you enjoy running. However, for me, like, the Stairmaster is not high impact like running. It still gets my heart rate nice and high. I enjoy it more than incline walking, so it's a no-brainer for me that I'm going to do the stairs. How did I choose my coach? So I was looking for a bodybuilding coach because I coach clients who want to change their lifestyle and transform physically and mentally. I have no knowledge of the bodybuilding world, so there is no way on this planet I was going to even consider prepping myself for this bodybuilding show, because I just knew that I would not have the knowledge around it. So my boyfriend actually decided to sign up with Nathan, who goes to our gym. So Alex has spoke to him a few times here and there, got a really good vibe from him. And I was like, why don't I just go with him as well? It'll be so much easier, him coaching both of us. He can see us in person. Hopefully we can have similar meal plans, which will make our food shop easier. And best decision, like, Nathan is incredible. It's so great that we're both being coached by him. I see him a lot in the gym. He's able to see my physique in person, which is not required, but it definitely does help. He hypes me up as well if I'm having a bit of a flat day. Comes over to me, he's like, your back looks so good. And I'm like, thanks. Need to hear that. But he's amazing. Yeah, he's so good. And do I train core? Yes, I train core 3 to 4 times a week, just 2 exercises at the end of each of my sessions. This is purely for performance-based purposes, so you do not need to train abs to get abs. It all comes down to the body fat percentage that you have. However, I have always had a weak core because I neglected core for so long, because I used to see on Instagram everywhere, you don't need to train your core, so I just didn't. However, my core is so weak, and since I've been really prioritising my core strength, like the past, I'd say 4 to 5 months, 3 to 4 times a week, non-negotiable at the end of my training sessions, my core strength has improved so much. It is helping so much my compound movements and just my control with my lifts throughout my sessions. And now, honestly, I wish that I hadn't neglected my core for so long. How do I manage hunger? Hunger. It's not fun, but I say this to my clients a lot, it is temporary. So this is my mindset around hunger. Some may think it sounds crazy. I say it to Alex a lot, it does help him. We are choosing to be hungry. There is going to be no other time in life where we have to go really through a phase of being hungry, not through choice. Because we are so lucky that we live in a country where we can literally walk 2 minutes to a shop and get food, where we can literally go on to Just Eat and order a takeaway whenever we want. We do not have to go without. I volunteered in an orphanage in Ghana when I was 18, and I saw these kids who were literally skin and bone so hungry and so desperate, and it wasn't through choice. And I think to myself, I've chose to do this prep. Of course I'm going to be hungry. I'm eating below the amount my body needs to get into stage condition. Same if you're just doing a normal lifestyle cut. You're eating below your maintenance. To drop body fat, you have to be in a state of deprivation. And I feel like that's not spoken about enough. And we often panic when we feel hungry because we're like, we shouldn't feel hungry. But if your goal is fat loss, as you get deeper into a fat loss phase, you are going to feel hungry because you're getting into a bit of deficit and your body's not going to like it. You're not in optimal condition anymore for energy, recovery. And that's okay, because that is why cutting is a short-term thing. You should not be in a cut for 4 or 5 months plus without a diet break, for example. So for me, a few things that really help is just pushing my first meal back to a little bit later in the morning. So trying to just shorten my eating window slightly, not fasting, but just having my breakfast a little bit later in the morning compared to when I was bolting on 3,500 calories and I had to have my breakfast really early to get all of my calories in. That really helped. Utilising lots of voluminous food, so lots of vegetables to really just bulk up my meals. I drink 4 to 5 litres of water a day. I wee a lot. Yes, I'm on the toilet probably like 30 times a day. I actually counted one day, I weed 47 times. 47 times! Oh my goodness, honestly. I thought I'm going to count because I feel like I'm weeing all the time. 47 times, I was not expecting that. Luckily I work from home, so my toilet is literally like 10 steps away. But water does help so much because dehydration is mistaken for hunger a lot of the time. Also prioritising high protein. Like, so many of my calories come from lean protein sources because I can have a lot of them. Protein is also the most filling macronutrient. It's going to leave you feeling satiated for longer. So you just want to be sensible with your food selection when you're in a cutting phase, because you are on lower calories and you do want to be sensible with them and just do all you can to minimise that hunger. But don't be afraid to sit with a little bit of hunger in a fat loss phase. And I say that because I feel like it really is something that is like people are scared to say. And obviously if you've struggled with disordered eating in the past, I understand that hunger can be a trigger. But I also don't think you should be committing to a fat loss phase if you're not in a good place with your food in the first place. But remembering it short term, having that kind of end goal. Like, I know that I've got like 39 days left until show 1. I've got like 58 days until show 2. So I know the end is in sight, and that helps me so much in those harder days, because I'm like, the whole summer from the 2nd of June onwards, I can enjoy wine, I can enjoy meals out, I can enjoy chocolate, everything. And another thing as well, obviously I'm doing a bodybuilding prep at the moment, so I don't have that sort of flexibility that I have had in lifestyle cuts, but you can still have takeaways if you're doing a lifestyle cut. You can still have chocolate, alcohol, crisps, cake, in moderation. All of these foods just equal calories. So as long as you're aware of the calorie consumption and you're fitting them into your calories, you can easily still be in a deficit and enjoy these foods in moderation as well. What time do I do cardio and what time do I train? So I do my cardio fasted. I get a lot of questions about why I do this. It is honestly just personal preference. I am a morning person. I absolutely love getting up early. I get up at 5 o'clock. It works really well for me. I've always been a morning person. It's not something that feels like a struggle. And I don't just do my cardio from when the gym opens at 6 a.m. and I get my 50 minutes to an hour done. I then go straight onto the stairs and I do 45 minutes of steps because my step count is 17.5k daily, which is a lot. So it just works when I'm in kind of the groove of just my cardio. I've got the cardio endorphins being released, I'm feeling good. I just smash out a few steps, and usually I set myself up the goal of being at 10k steps by the time I leave the gym, which is usually about 7:30. I'm usually at about 10k because my cardio steps do contribute to my overall steps. And then I go for an hour walk during the day, and maybe like a 20-minute walk on the walking pad, and then I've hit my steps. So I do my cardio fasted at 6 a.m, then I come back, I have my breakfast at around 9, I have my pre-workout meal at around 11:30, and I get to gym for around 12:30, using the gym for a few hours. So as I train, I do core, I also do a bit of posing practice, and then I'll come back and have my lunch at around 2:30ish. So I have a little bit of fluidity with my meal timings, but I still try to stick to quite similar meal timings each day, as I feel like my hunger cues have regulated accordingly. Do I pre-cook meals? Kind of not. So I did try this for a while, but I was just getting so fed up with how dry my chicken was tasting. So where I do work from home every day, I'm very fortunate. I often do cook my chicken fresh, but I will pre-cook my mince because I don't really feel like that makes a big difference. But where my food is low, I really want to enjoy every mouthful of it. So I just like fresh chicken. I just usually whack in like 1 chicken breast that I know equates to the serving size that I have for that meal. And I just pop it in the air fryer for 15 minutes and then I'm done. How low are my calories? As I said, I am not disclosing this, but they are low. They are very low, I'm not gonna lie. I put it into my fitness pal the other day just to kind of see, and I was like, no, I must have forgot to put something in, it can't be this low. And I was like, it's definitely this low. And my boyfriend's moaning all the time about how hungry he is, and his food is still actually quite high. And I sent him my food and he was like, okay, I'm not gonna moan anymore. I'm like, please don't, because it's really doing my head in. But yeah, it's short term. It hasn't been that low all of the time. And at the end of the day, to get stage lean, you have to push. You have to push to new extremes, and I knew that. I knew that, and that is why I spent so long in a bulk, because it just meant that I haven't been on these low calories for the bulk of my prep. Really, my food's only got, I would say, quite low the past few weeks, and I'm 6 weeks out now, not even that, actually just a bit under. And I'm okay with that. And hardest and best part of prep. So hardest part of prep, I would definitely say, is like the energy side of things. You just don't have that excess energy anymore. Like, I'm very lucky that my boyfriend is doing it, but even just like making conversations with people just feels like more effort, as bad as that sounds. And you just have enough energy to do everything that's required. So once I've hit my steps, I've done my cardio, I've done all my client work, edited my content, I'm sleeping. Like, I'm in bed by 8:45 every night. And I just don't have the energy to make plans with people just to like watch them eat, because so many plans are centered around food and drink. I'm very lucky that I've got a few really good friends who just love the gym as much as me, so we'll just get a session in together or go for a walk. Like, one of my best friends, Mel, she's competed before, so she really understands. But I would say the hardest part is just like friends who don't really understand what you're doing, and family, and they might just think that you're being off and can't really understand why you're maybe not in the best mood, and it's not personal, it's just like how you're feeling. And I would say as well, obviously the sacrifices in terms of not being able to go out, but that actually hasn't been an issue because Alex is doing it as well. Whereas if he wasn't, I think I'd find it harder. But we don't talk about going out for meals at the moment because it's just not something we can do. But we obviously speak about it from like June onwards. We're like, oh, we can do this, we can do this. We're making notes of restaurants we want to go to and countries we want to visit and all these sorts of things from June onwards once we've finished our shows. I think for a lot of people it would be that, but for me it hasn't. I've just been getting my head down, building my coaching business, saving money, putting my all into this, and I knew it was going to be that sacrifice. But I would say, yeah, the hardest part is definitely the energy. But apart from that, I honestly haven't struggled with it yet. And I have had probably 3 really difficult days in terms of energy and prep, and apart from that, I have felt really good. I am a very energetic person. I'm convinced I have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm always just like, ugh. So for me, even with lower energy, still a lot of energy. And Alex often says, how do you still have so much energy in prep? And I'm like, it's not loads of energy for me, but it still seems like a lot because normally I'm like bouncing off the walls. But I think as I get closer and closer to show day, like, I had a really big drop in food today, and it's pretty much all carbs, and I know that that's gonna really affect my energy levels, so I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, that was definitely the hardest part, and the best part is actually just proving to myself how mentally strong I am. Like yesterday, I had the hardest day of prep so far. My body honestly felt like it weighed 100 kg per leg. I was trying to do 15 minutes on the stairs. Every part of me wanted to stop. I was like on the verge of tears because it felt so hard. Dramatic, I know, but it was. My recovery wasn't good. It's my time of the month, anytime now. My hunger was high. It was just a really difficult day, but I got to the end of the day and I was like, I've done it. Like, I've hit my steps, I've done my cardio. I can do hard things, and it made me realise that I am mentally strong. I can get boxes ticked even when I really don't want to, even when every part of me doesn't want to. I can still show up. And I read this quote on Instagram, which I love. I love a quote, literally love a quote, and it was like, discipline is literally just getting things done regardless of how you feel. That is it. And I thought it was just such a good summary of discipline, because it's so true. Like, some days are going to feel easy, some days you're going to be in a great mood, and I've had some incredible days in prep where I've literally just been on cloud 9, but then some days are going to be hard. Some days your body's just going to feel flat, low in energy. Maybe you've had a hard training session and you've just not recovered well, and you are naturally going to feel low because you're deprived of food, you're deprived of energy, your recovery's really not good, and you're just not in an optimal condition to be functioning at your best. And it's just about understanding that. And even when it feels hard, and even when I'm thinking about food more, and even when my hunger is higher, my energy is low, just tell myself it's temporary, and every day I get through that, my confidence in my ability grows. Someone said, what has prep taught you? So this is such a good question, because prep has taught me so much. But more than anything, it has taught me how much I took for granted the little things in life. So just being able to walk to Tesco's and have Doritos and sour cream and chive. I literally love Doritos and sour cream and chive so much, or like breadsticks and sour cream and chive. And obviously can't have them at the moment. Being in prep, I literally love them, and I definitely took them for granted. And also, like me and Alex are saying as well, so where we live, we have this Thai restaurant, and it's literally a 5-minute walk away. And for the last few months before prep, we got into a routine of just having it as a takeaway. And we was like, why didn't we just go in there? Why did we just get into a routine of just staying in our PJs, watching TV and having a takeaway when we spend a lot of time indoors anyway? And we was like, we just took for granted like having lovely restaurants on our doorstep. So we're definitely gonna go out more and actually have meals out. And appreciate just little things of everyday life, like a croissant and a coffee on a Sunday morning that we're getting our Labrador in September, and I just can't wait to go for a beach walk, to have a nice milky coffee with a pan au chocolat. And these are things that I never even used to give a second thought about. Like, I'd order a coffee and have a croissant and not even think twice. Whereas now it's like little things that I realise that I genuinely enjoy and get so much enjoyment from, because I know that I can't have it right now. It's not that it makes me want it more, I just know that when I can start having those sorts of like foods and drinks again, I will appreciate them so much. And it has also taught me a lot about the people in my life, that maybe the friendships are formed just around like food and drink compared to kind of real solid friendships, because when you're in prep, you have to be selfish. You just do. It is a selfish sport. People say, oh, can you not just order a salad at a restaurant? You can't. Like, you just can't trust that they're going to weigh everything out correctly, which is another reason why I do not want to do this again, because it is so extreme and it is so restrictive, and it's like, how can people do this every year? Like, I actually don't get it. Like, I'm enjoying it because it's like the only time I've done this, and I know it's the only time I'm going to do it, but I'm like, how do people do this every year? I mean, credit to them, but it's just not even worth like going out to restaurants and bringing my own food. So I just don't go. Like, I don't bother making plans. I know some people in prep do just take their own potterware to the restaurants. I just don't want to do that. I do not want to draw that sort of attention to myself. So I've got closer with friends that I wasn't that close with before prep, who I actually have realised their values really align to me. Like my friend Meg, we met because we're both going through our first ever bodybuilding prep, and she is incredible. One of my really good friends, Mel, now, like, we've booked a holiday together. She's been amazing. Like, she's actually competed before and she's just been such a support. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there with the questions, and I feel like this video is gonna be so long otherwise, but just to kind of summarise my prep experience so far, I'm 12 weeks in and I've honestly loved it so much. It has been everything that I wanted it to be. On the post, when I said that I wanted to compete, I said I think the level of discipline and belief it requires to get through bodybuilding prep is admirable, and I want to push myself to go through that and experience the highs and lows to learn more about myself and to push myself to new limits, and it has done exactly that. The mental strength that I have shown myself in these 12 weeks, and not step a foot out of line and to leave a box unticked, I would never have imagined being that person a few years ago. I struggled so much in lockdown, and I will do a separate video about this. I struggled so much in that time, and I was in such a low place mentally, and I never imagined being someone that could stick to something like this, especially with how much I struggled with my discipline. Like, I haven't always been like this, and it's just proven to myself more than ever that actually I can do what I've set out to do, and I am mentally stronger than I give myself credit for. I'm very ready for these final 6 weeks to challenge me in many ways. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this one was a little bit boring. It's just more of kind of an introduction to my prep journey so far. The next video is definitely going to be just spend a few days of me on prep, sharing more of my meals, posing practice, training, just day-to-day routine as well. But I'm just conscious that this video would be way too long for my first video if that was the case. So this is just a little quick fire prep Q&A, and then there'll be a lot more detailed videos about my prep journey to come. Let me know if there are any suggestions of videos that you want to see, or a little bit more that you want to find out about prep, and I'll definitely do a video about it.